Hi folks! Today we are going to do something that we have not done before on this channel and I'm really excited for it. So anybody who knows me probably knows that I don't often talk about test tools, and if you have worked with me you also know that I don't often recommend those test tools. In fact, I have spent most of my career being the skeptic in the room when somebody wheels in a shiny new automation platform, because I often think they automate the wrong thing. Today's tool is a different, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to show you why I'm excited about it. So the tool, of course, is BearQ from SmartBear, who have kindly sponsored this video. So really what made me stop and look at BearQ is the fact that it doesn't just test a script. They have a phrase for it. SmartBear calls this application integrity. And they ask a genuinely different question. So instead of asking whether the code is clean or whether the script matches the screen, it really works by running the application the way a person would. And that moves through real workflows. Yeah, it checks whether the experience does what it was meant to do, even when the UI has maybe changed a little bit. So without further ado, let's jump right in and I'll talk you through a few of the things that you can do with BearQ, or the things that I found particularly useful. I'm not going to cover the entirety of its functionality here today, but there will be a second video, hopefully, where I go a little bit deeper into it. Stay tuned. So as you can see, I have already set up my workspace. This is super simple. You only point it at a live URL, and then that sets it up all for you. You can see this is my dashboard. It gives me a system summary, and it tells me there's a 100% pass rate. We can look exactly at that test. So you see there are a few previous runs of tests. For the interest of this video, I have removed all previously existing tests except for one, namely this one, and that is the environment health check, and it literally does what I like to do as a smoke test, right? It just navigates to the application and verifies that the page loads. That's the whole test. That's it. That is a test that every test suite needs. Okay, we're going to explore the reports in more depth maybe later, but for now I just wanted to show you what is in here out of the box, and you can see there is your regression test breakdown. You can see the tests that passed, failed, and tests that haven't been run. Here is a regression results by day, which I really love. The top 3 functional areas, because I only have this one test currently, right? There isn't much in here, but we come back to that and I'll show you how this changes. The 12 suspected issues are from my previous test runs with the tests that I have now deleted. We are not going to look into these right now, but I'm going to show you the bug discovery a little bit later, which is pretty amazing. It is one of the best features, really. What I really like is that you also get an immediately overview of your usage and limits, because that really stops you from running out of ACUs, your agent compute units, which is basically the SmartBear equivalent to tokens, as I understand it, right? So you're not gonna get stuck in the middle of a task because you're running out of these. So that is really useful. What I want to look into is how the application modeling works here, which I found really, really interesting. One of my problems with many test tools is that I find they are as good as the logic as you put into them, and BearQ makes this super easy. So basically what it does, and we have done this already, at the very beginning when you pointed at your application under test for the first time, it will build a model of your application, and that's what you see here. So you can see here is a list of all the pages in my website, and as you can see, a lot of them are currently untested. Now I don't necessarily want all of them tested anyways, so I already have tests for the home page, and I probably will want to add some tests to that, but for right now we are going to leave that as it is. But I want to show you how easy it is to add some tests. And for that we're going to use the course catalog, because obviously that is a page that I am very interested in having functional. That is where people can buy my on-demand courses. So I really want people to have a good experience with that. So let's click on this, and you can see, right? There is a description of the page. It tells me what functional area this falls under. That's a course catalog. And I really like that it creates these functional areas as well. And we can filter by functional areas, right? So you can see these are all auto created, and there are a bunch of areas here. There's the blog, the course catalog, landing page, and so on and so forth. And course catalog is actually what I want to see right now. So let's filter and make our lives a little bit easier. So we can see there are 2 pages here. There is the all courses, and then there is a specific course, namely Stakeholder Ready. Both of these are untested. Let's start with this one, and let's start by creating a test. So that's as easy as it could be, right? I click on Create Test, and it takes me here to a test creation page, basically test details. It says here there is a description on top of it, and then it has listed the test steps that is going to do. This is going to take a moment, so I'm going to pause my recording, and I will come back when the test has been created. So as you can see, this is the same page as before, right? Navigate to all courses, KT coaching page, and then interact with and validate each element on the page. And now you can see it has updated the test steps, and there are a bunch more steps now here. It navigates to the application and verified the page loads successfully. It then navigates to Cato coaching or courses. It hovers over the AI triage and verify its href attribute is present. It does the same for the Stakeholder Ready course. It then hovers over the link. So basically it then checks the menu, and that is the test. If we look here at expand all, I think this is really neat. You can also see the actual code that is executed here. So if you are more on the automation tester side and want to implement some of that, or want to fiddle with that or learn from that, right? All of that is, you can easily see it, and it's available to you. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to run the test because I want to see what it's doing, right? And as you can see, if you run a test, you get the live run here and can follow the test along, which I really like. I think that is really cool. You can see here what it's doing, right? It is, you see the little red square, and that was it. It ran the test, and the test, all 8 steps completed successfully. Well, that is amazing. So we're going to get back to view the test. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to approve the test. And that means the test now is, you can see here, in my all tests suite. And we have a new test. So I have, you can see, I have now a list of tests here, right? There are 2 for my course catalog. The second one is navigate to the home page and locate the browse courses. Click the button, verify that it successfully navigates the user to the course catalog page, displaying the available courses. So that is great. I go back to all my tests, and what I'm going to do is I run a regression test. Now actually I am going to run all regression tests. You can see here there will be a suite of regression tests that's coming soon, where you can execute a curated collection, which is really nice because I'm a huge fan of sometimes just running tests for areas that I know have changed. So that can be really useful, but for now we just run all of the regression tests. And you can say it's queuing them, it's running them. It gives me a little feedback down here. And again, I am going to pause the recording and come back when that's done, and then I'll show you what's coming out of that. All of my tests have run now, and they all have passed. I can look in here, and I can see previous test runs. I can see that the test was modified by me a while ago, and everything is fine, right? However, I have some bugs. And of course, the course page, I said it before, is a page that I am very interested that users have a good experience with. So AI triage course heading not clickable, that sounds pretty horrible to me. Let's look into what this bug is. And this bug was found 3 minutes ago. And what it says here is AI triage heading does not have an href attribute. The AI triage element is an h3 heading that is not wrapped in a link element and has no href attribute, making it non-clickable. This appears to be a featured course that should likely be clickable to navigate to course details. Heck yeah, that is exactly what it should be. I'm a bit shocked about this. So, we have expected versus actual here. Very good. We have reproduction steps, right? And I particularly like that we have evidence here. So I want to see the evidence. I'm a tester. I believe in nothing if I haven't seen evidence. So it goes to the all courses page. It now checks all courses. You can see that is highlighted. It's now hovering over AI triage. And apparently that is not clickable. I'm shocked. Okay, it's now looking at the other course, as you can see by the red square. I am a little bit confused that it tells me here that all tests have passed. And let's see what we can do with that. Verify issue. So now it does another run to check this issue out. Okay, so here we have the verdict. Here's what I observed. The agent successfully verified that the application loads navigated to the courses page, loaded the AI triage heading in the featured course section, and inspected the element. The inspection revealed that AI triage is an H3 heading with a class entry title displayed in Playfair display font and blah blah blah. So there's a bit of information. The agent completed the objective and found no issues with the element's presence or basic properties. So now what we are going to do is we are going to my actual web page and look for ourselves. And I'm going to click on this and it is perfectly clickable. So this was a bit of a red herring then, right? So what we are going to do is, again, I am going to close the issue. I am going to resolve the issue, but keep watching for it. So if we see the issue again, it will resurface. Now that was a little bit of a shock, but I am quite glad that it turned out to be a non-issue, really. Let's look at one more. Let's look at this one. So here we have the close button on the login modal that is outside of the viewport and cannot be clicked. And let's verify that this is a real issue. So I think it is really amazing that you can do a fully automated test run. You get a report. So your test isn't failing, but because the test completes successfully. But it found something that it thinks is not looking right. It files an issue, and with 2 clicks you can verify whether it is a real issue or not. And as you have seen in the verification step, it actually showed us that it was not a real issue, rather than a test that is breaking for an issue that is not real. I really, really love this. This is so good. So let's see what comes out of this. Okay, maybe it's having trouble clicking the login button. I don't know. Okay, so there is the login modal. And as you can see, I don't know if you could see that, but it is in fact correct that the close button was outside of the viewport. So this here is a real issue. So I don't really have a ticketing system connected to this, so I can't really do that. But if you are using Jira in your place, this would be absolutely amazingly easy. Or maybe one of the other SmartBear products, whatever you're using, right? So I don't have one because it's just me maintaining my website, and I have a list in Obsidian, and that is basically my ticketing system. So there you go. But absolutely amazing. I totally love this. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for hanging around to the end. So I promised you in the beginning that I have some exciting news for you, and that is SmartBear have now opened up BearQ for self-serve trials. So I will put a QR code on the screen here or here. Not entirely sure where it's going to go. You can use that, or I'll also put a link in the description box where you can go and sign up for trialing BearQ yourself. If you do me a favor, come back and let me know what you think in the comments. Let me also know what you want to see in the next video, because there will be a part 2 to this video where I'm going to show you some more of the functionality. Until then, bye bye.